Call this meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Birthday today. I think it's yesterday I put a page out.
What number? Welcome back.
6-2.
That's what I thought.
62. I remember 62.
Welcome back. It's been like almost a month or
There's a
something.
few I don't remember, but they were a long time ago.
It was hard for me.
And they were for the wrong reason.
Not a month.
In 3 weeks. Since we've seen you.
I was a younger man.
You were gone 2 weeks.
You were
and-
gone a week.
And we were gone a week. So
Yeah.
Everybody seen today's agenda?
we need to retrain you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I asked myself that about you.
Any comments, questions, or the agenda, conflicts of interest? Hearing none, agenda will stand as written. Reading of the minutes.
December 9th, 2025, Board of Supervisors met at 9 a.m. with Dave Mulbauer, Chair presiding. Members present were Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, Hayden, and Rossberg. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. On motion, the board recognized claims from public health and approved claims for all other departments. The board approved the hiring of Josh Henderson, maintenance employee for engineer's office. The board had a discussion with Trevor Cass, YMCA branch director, about corporate wellness program sponsor for the new wellness center. No action was taken at this time. The board had a discussion with Ryan Smith Schneider Geospatial about Beacon parcel maintenance and GIS products and tools they offer. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to approve the certification of cost allocation plan. Motion passed unanimously. The board had a discussion with Colin Johnson, county attorney, about the compensation board. No action was taken at this time. At 12 p.m., a motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Hayden, to open the closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5. Subsection 1, subsection C, which allows for a closed session. Motion passed unanimously. At 12:32, a motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to close the closed session. Motion passed unanimously. The board had discussion regarding Jim Duff fees. No action was taken at this time. On motion, duly seconded. The board adjourned at 12:32 p.m. Agendas for the next meeting are posted and available at the courthouse on Friday, 4:30 p.m. preceding the next meeting.
Comments or corrections?
Pretty good.
Minutes will be approved.
Should we, just see the minutes for the Ford County meeting? They're in here. Should they be supposed to or not?
I don't think they ever are, but I mean, we'll keep them in
They
in
will
your
be.
file.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll stay in the file of documents that we keep for
Okay.
the board.
Beautiful place for you.
That was beautiful.
Of wood. It's really nice. That was built with grant money and
Supervisor reports, Kyle.
Well, I'm sure the rest of you will talk about that. We had our District 3 meeting, which I thought was very interesting. A lot of good stuff talked about there. Was able to attend luncheon for the secondary roads Thursday. Thursday. It was good. It's soup this year instead of a standard old pork loin, so that's good, different. But a lot of new faces again.
They have any speakers come in?
I don't. By the time I got there, that was all over with already. So they were just starting to. There was a couple.
You just got there for the food? Is that what you're
Pretty much. By design.
By design.
By design.
Good day to have it. It was a cold, windy son of a gun that day.
Yeah, that was the day it was cold and windy, but there was a guy from Hawkeye Truck and a couple of vendors there, so I didn't see anybody as far as, I don't, so I'm not gonna say what they had, but and then the Yes Center meeting I was supposed to go to was canceled due to their blizzard event they had Thursday night into Friday up that way, so. I had more going on. I had a bunch of meetings last week. Not all of them were county, but anyway. I guess we got some information in the packet here, but we needed to find a couple new commission to assess damages, 2 realtors and knowledge by occupation. That'll come around. So if you got any ideas? Walsh lost his license. Keith Kirchhoff is inactive, and Clarence Hoffman passed away.
Why is Keith inactive? What's,
I don't know.
Must not attend. I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe his license is inactive. Maybe you gotta keep up so many credits. I don't know what the inactive part means.
Are we required to have so many?
Is he under the realtor? What's he
yeah,
under?
realtor.
Then maybe he's not an
Yeah.
active realtor anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what that requires.
he still
but-
auctions?
Right, but that's not a realtor.
They said maybe his realtor's license is inactive.
Yeah,
So Matt, do we need to have so many people per category? Or
I
do you
believe
just have
so.
to have one?
You
No.
need to have somebody per category in the event that something has to,
Right.
that the judge would have a list of people to choose from that would cross out any chance that there's a
Remember
family.
reading old minutes and I didn't even know what my grandfather was on the farmer thing for
Oh,
20
okay.
years.
yeah.
I don't know if I ever met.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, I know. You just keep an active list and, yeah, mostly for decedents that, you know, but
But yeah,
Okay,
So do you have any young new realtors?
boy, hard.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
caught my eye the other- oh,
Knuckles, if Jim Brown, if they have any new, maybe his daughter, or I feel like she does that, but I'm not sure if she's a licensed realtor.
Tracy Bruce.
She certainly would be qualified.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her name's not on here. That's just,
yep, that'd be a good one, good idea. Two
Tracy's close to
realtors,
it.
right?
Retiring too.
yeah.
Right,
Well, I think
as long as she has an
This-
active license.
She
I
does.
suppose.
I'm looking at this list and they're probably all
Oh.
close to retired now. Maybe that's an field of opportunity for some young people
There
to
you go.
get into. I'll move on. What do you think?
Well, I'll just add, I guess, that concerning the district, I'll go back to the 4 county meeting that we had because I met with, I'm on the finance committee with Wesco and we had a special meeting last Friday at noon and just from talking to Clay said he was really interesting. He said to sit in on that 4 county meeting that he said I was just enamored by all the topic of discussion that you supervisors talk about and how, you know, the counties do have a lot of things in common, but maybe we solve things differently. So just so you know, that Clay thought it was very interesting. And Clay was happy and that he got to share Wesco, what they do with really that area that is their, I want to say their area that they do business in.
do they do much in Harrison County?
What's that?
Do they do much?
I don't think they do much, but I think they wanted to make it aware, because WIPCO needs to expand its territory, and they need to get we talked about this in our finance committee meeting, is because unfortunately, Wesco over the last 6 months have lost some clients that were maybe, they get paid by tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. If you're tier 5, you need a lot of services. You get paid a lot more money on those people than you do on a tier 1.
When I get it off.
Wesco has lost some of those tier 4 and tier 5 people through either they've decided to, with the change in rules, they can stay at home and they can have a parent take care of them and get that money. So some have done that. They've had a couple that have passed away. And even though they're serving more clients, they have more with mental health issues, which tend to be a tier 1, tier 2. So they're getting less money than what they were in the past. And keeping the same employees. That's why we met, was to try to look kind of like counties are doing, is how could we generate income differently than how we're doing it now. And so expansion was certainly one of the things that we need to do. We need to get Wesco's awareness out there by maybe going to the Carroll Public School, Harlan Public School, Mapleton County School, Woodbine, and let everybody know all the services that Wesco does, because they say that's usually what happens is they have, those children that need the services, they get them taken care of while they're in school. And a lot of times if Wesco has a parent shows up when the kid graduates from high school and says, how do I do? And but some people may be unaware that Wesco does that. And Wesco needs to make them aware that, hey, we can start this at a lot younger age and work with the school. So, they're changing a little bit of how they want to focus, I think, moving forward to generate more business.
That would probably help, if they're starting sooner too. It helps build a profile for the individual so that they know how to best care for them as they become adults.
And Wesco talked about too is maybe they haven't done such a good job as far as that. Maybe somebody is a tier 2, but they're getting tier 4 services, and they never, negotiated with the state that, hey, here's the services that we're now doing. This person should be a tier 4, and negotiate that with those state people that come in and approve what tier or quality of care that they get. That Wesco said, yeah, there is a few of those people that should
Is that a Medicaid service then, or how?
Yes, Medicaid. It's all Medicaid. And then we had last night, Wesco had their Christmas party for sports, so that was down at the event center at the bake shop. Everything was made there. We had prime rib ham.
Nice.
Cool. Nice. Very nice.
That might be the best board to be on.
I'm wondering what
You
they're-
don't lose weight on that board the way it sounds.
It was nice. Us and spouses, so it was nice.
Do you feel like the bake shop is turning a profit?
It is not.
It is not.
And our goal is to get it to break even.
Break even.
Yes. I mean, there's 10 to 12 clients of Wesco that work at the bake shop. And so that's a benefit. They put a lot of money in the bake shop.
They did.
And
That sign alone is,
it's going to take some time, certainly, to get that money back out. There's depreciation in there, and you got to be included in that also, in that break-even amount. But the goal is to get it to break even, and it's not there yet.
I think, when it first opened, it was taking so long because the drinks are all so specific to, what kind of flavoring and everything. And I just think every time I would go into the line, it was so long. I had time to stop in. So I think they've worked that out, though. I think they've sped that up a little bit, so that helps a lot. The food is excellent.
Yeah, the food is good, and every month their sales have grown. So I think the people recognize that also.
The new place opens, is someone goes in the first time, and then I think sometimes that's the problem. People are in such a hurry to go, and those soft openings sometimes say, but yeah.
You need to go, wait a few months and go back and let them all work their kinks out.
Absolutely. So hoping anybody that stopped by and they thought it took too long, they stopped by again.
Right.
Service has gotten a lot better. something.
That's all.
I did have a real quick, Region 12 last week. Went over our transit report, that's on track, busy there. Local assistant report, that's with Chris Whitaker. Then we did the executive director's report. We did do a executive director evaluation for Rick. We do that every year. And look at the numbers, the data, what Region 12 is doing. Arguably the best in the state. I mean, just have good staff, go-getters. I mean,
Good leadership.
good leadership. It's almost, we even kind of joked about it with the board. On one hand, it's very easy to do evaluation because everything runs so smoothly. We know there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But on the other hand, it's kind of hard to do evaluation because it's like, well, there's nothing to nitpick at. It's just runs well. We did talk a little bit with Rick, not to let cat out of the bag too much, and he hasn't said anything officially yet, but he just said he is getting up there. Not anytime soon, but to start thinking about transition.
Is there someone in place that is the natural?
No,
Next person?
not necessarily. Sometimes they hire from outside, sometimes it could be from inside. I asked them if any cogs ever create like an assistant director position. He said it has happened, but just conversation down the road that, kind of, so everybody's a little bit prepared and not caught off guard. Have to start from scratch. But it is nice having a good team too, so when that day does come, there's a good team set in place, they know their job, and I can be down the road and step right in.
For saying something, I think something he do with it.
I don't know.
He's really good at what he does.
I just say
I don't know if and we didn't really get into the weeds about it, just kind of more
Just-
on the surfaces.
an assumption, I don't want to speak for somebody.
Might have to break it out into two because of the fact that he's so good at all of the aspects of that job, but the knowledge that that guy has, you
Oh,
could
man.
never replace it. And what I like about their attitude is, well, yes, but what can we do to make this happen? Now, I don't think that's gonna be,
They never shy away from
Never
things, do
shy
they,
away.
Gene? It's,
never, no matter what you throw at
and
it.
if there's USDA grants, if there's economic development stuff, I mean, they push the envelope.
They really do, and they're willing to try new things to see what they can do to improve these smaller communities.
We even talked a little bit about all the housing projects and the homes for Iowa and how we've been able to use that money and not just use it and it's gone, but use it, sell a home that's affordable, and then we'll rotate that money back into a new one and keep doing that over and over again. And it's never calculated, but all the economic development, tax rolls, just adding those homes and places for people to go in our communities, the benefit that we really haven't put the pencil to.
I wish some of these smaller communities could take advantage of the rehabilitation program that takes matching funds, and I think that's this, we all know that our smaller communities could really use that to boost up to get some.
I don't- Manella's working directly with Chris right now on a study to kind of help see where they can go.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that smaller communities don't have the
Yeah,
funds to
that
match
match-
them, but
The matching funds is kind of difficult.
And they have to be willing to, Kyle, we went to that derelict building.
Yep.
And that was very interesting. Communities have to be engaged and take advantage as well.
Yeah, it's everybody has to play a part in the role, and your local banks have to be invested in, because back when we did the down payment assistance, that's a lot of extra paperwork. It was,
well, I think part of the derelict building deal is getting the ownership of the building. I've noticed in Charter Oak, that's, I think, probably the hardest part and expensive part is to get, the city has to have the ownership of the building.
Yeah.
You can't just walk in there and grab the ownership of it.
and lots, there's vacant lots that things could happen on, but just to tangle the weeds to how you make that happen. The thing about Region 12 is they'll stick with you.
I mean, they'll work with you, but it's just the process, some of these smaller communities, well, I think probably even, it's a process and it can be lengthy
Could be.
and expensive.
You run into some dead ends every now and again that
But
you
then
work so.
Region 12 is always there to help,
Well, the other
no
thing,
matter what.
and I think this is pretty consensus for the whole board, it's not like Region 12 focuses on one county more than the other. We all
No.
feel like it is very equitable. Projects are shared across the 6 region counties. No county feels like they're being left behind. The member counties are getting full use of Region 12 directly.
Always whenever I go, I circle. It's always good to see what we are doing that you might not even really realize.
Right.
Get more advertisement about what they're doing in the communities. That word out.
This brings up a point that I had somebody reach out to me this week. Meals on Wheels, struggling a little bit. So,
Yes.
With help or just with funding or?
well, it sounds like funding.
Gonna be short $1,000 maybe, is that what you kind of heard? Less.
Wonder what kind of grants for nonprofits or something's out there, and I kind of suggested to it Region 12. Is that something? Is that a? I mean, I kind of thought I'd throw that past you guys to see if you had a direction that you could send that to help out. I mean, that's probably something that's pretty well used, isn't
We
it?
donate to Elbridge.
I was just saying, doesn't Elder Bridge
Right.
provide for
I
the?
think Elder Bridge's financing's being kind of shifted a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we could do is possibly to help out, is that Meals on Wheels, there are some people, that's the only.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I remember somebody saying something like that. Some of the older folks, that's all they got.
That's all they get. It's hard to cook for yourself, it's hard to cook in the store, especially when there's that.
I
They
just didn't know
volunteers
if
delivering it.
there's, well, it's something to put our minds to.
What is it, they pay the drivers or it's the meal?
Volunteers.
They're
I
all
was gonna say,
volunteers.
they're all volunteers. I remember my
down
grandma
here?
used to volunteer to deliver meals,
I
so
know
I
we
just,
have-
I was wondering if,
Some small amount of
Volunteer.
money in the budget.
I just texted Chris Baker, I'll see if he.
250.
so that they need money for the meal
No.
part, right? Need money for the meal.
Right.
We
and
need
that's
to up it.
the
Here.
All right.
Gosh, I'm
But to find
he's
something.
on by the
Dennis.
board here.
Dennison.
Plan.
Yeah. That's Dennison's.
That's the only one we have, I think, isn't it?
I don't think there is anybody
There
else.
used to be Charter Oak that we,
Charter Oak.
Yeah,
yeah,
that disappeared, I think since I've been on the board. so
Aren't the
last
meals made at the senior
7
center?
years.
Just before I
My
got on the board.
understanding.
Yeah.
It's my understanding.
I think
do they get
they were
food
down to like
from,
3 or
like
4 or 5 that were
the
getting it.
Siouxland
It just
Food
wasn't-
Bank, do they get food?
Feasible.
You know, I've never looked deep into exactly the whole chain of command on how that works.
I
I just
haven't
know
either.
it's been around for.
Speaking of that though, now that the establishment over there at Charter Oak's open, I wonder if Elder Bridge or whatever could work with them to buy so many meals or whatever. Just have them picked up. Don't have to have them delivered, they just have to be extravagant, you know?
Make sure you have a vegetable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's something to put our minds to work on.
$1,000 they need. or
Yeah,
more.
I didn't talk any numbers, but.
That's-
Oh,
I just had a
Gee.
round
Or
table.
pop some popcorn?
good. Good.
This year, instead of having a Christmas party with Rotary, we're delivering meals to needy. So it's about $2,500 that we donated to
Cool.
have Heidi make a meal, they can pick that up, and Heidi's donating dessert to along with it. So, yeah, because we used to get together and have prime rib and all sorts of food.
So where did you get the list of
From
the
the
people?
school, there's a liaison down there that kind of. feels
So
like-
these aren't just seniors?
No, I'm sorry, it's
No, okay.
Meals for Needy,
Okay.
which is,
Right,
yeah.
I
So
think
just
the
get the free and reduced lunch list.
Meals on
And then
Wheels
there's
is
probably
just
some on
mostly
there
for
that aren't
seniors,
even-
so
that the teachers.
from
use.
my understanding, I mean, maybe
Kind of like the
more.
backpack.
I don't know a great deal about how they operate.
Who operates, I'm sorry.
Deals.
I don't think I know that,
Do they have someone that's in charge of that?
yeah,
Well, yeah, Bobby Garcia, I suspect, that's who's calling me.
We should have a company board.
Huh?
Have them,
That would be a bad idea.
well, the city does.
Yeah.
See,
They do.
curious how far out they go, if they cover other communities.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to just see if we could tackle some weeds there too. Yeah, know somebody.
The other thing I did have yesterday, and it was quite interesting. Your board, Gene, we had not a full board PCI state meeting, but they've been breaking off into conversation groups. So we had a Zoom meeting with our chairman of the Westegard. She is really trying to dig into getting things on track there. Dave Aaron's a board member, then Stevens and myself. And we went over a number of things. Of course, the one thing holding over our head that it's hard to make decisions on how to go forward with the state ECI, because we don't know what the legislation is gonna do. There's talk that they're gonna,
Replicate, mental health.
yes, we've pushed back on that. We've had some areas preemptively starting to talk about consolidation. So I brought up this, why are we doing that when we don't even know what the state is going to do? We talked about some of the designation processes for the services they receive, and to me, it seems like Emily's trying to get it all even into one file. It's so all over the board that if you're not a seasoned director to know what to do to be in compliance, and if we have turnover like we're gonna have in some of these positions, they're not gonna have a clue how to be in compliance. And my question, well, where's the state staff? They should be hand in hand with our areas to walk them through to be compliant and not pushing for this redistricting.
I don't know how you spread those workers so thin, to have so many different counties and be effective. I just, when I hear how many counties, I'm like, how in the world?
Well,
And the travel time,
I brought up too, I mean, we're the state board, and if this feels like one of those boards that the tail wags the dog. It's like, who is our director and our state staff? Are they our employees or are they HHS's? Well, we're digging into that. We asked HHS for legal counsel, but we don't provide it. So now she's reaching out to Attorney General on some rulings and things that we should be doing and how we do it. Come to find out, we're working on, there's some things that we need to do better in our own bylaws as a state board. And I brought up this, how do you expect these areas that don't receive the help to know how to be in compliance and expect them to be in compliance when we ourselves need to be better at being in compliance? No, it's,
but the compliance is going to change as the state decides what their bar is that you have to be. Remember how mental health went, that it was evidence-based, but they didn't really know what the evidence was that they were gonna use. Remember that whole backwards,
well, I brought up, I said, you know what, fine having guardrails and having things systemized to where we know what needs to be done and how to be in compliance, like you're talking with evidence-based.
Yep.
But on the other hand, ECI was also developed years ago so that you had local input and that each area has flexibility to do what's best for their area, because one size doesn't fit all.
Interesting concept.
We got a lot of things to work through there.
You do, but the problem is you'll spend all this time working on it,
And then
and
the
when
state,
it comes down the pipe, all that work is gonna be for naught, because that's not what they envisioned and,
so to be continued.
Changes with each new group of politicians.
yeah, unfortunately, you're right there also, yeah. But I guarantee you that's the direction that it's going.
Lives that it affects.
And the money that they take away, when they take $1,000, I think it does it, I don't know. why hit on that number that came to be, but that affects a lot. It might not seem like a lot to some big politician, but it's a lot to these small communities when you take.
Well, even like, I agree with Dave Aaron's, I both said, you know, if local area ECIs want to combine, feel the need that they can be more efficient and better use of those funds, then it should happen at a local level organically where they go to the table together, not us dictating it on.
Anybody's listening to you.
I don't think so. But it was good to have that.
It is good to stay ahead of it, and it is good to be aware, and I feel sorry for Annette, you know, because she is such a dedicated and passionate about what she does, and she doesn't know which way to even go. She sees her job becoming part-time, I think.
One huge bird under my saddle, that fact that they went to Lakes area, Barry Anderson's, I told you guys about this, and told them, yep, we're working, you're doing everything you need to do to get back to compliance, and then the very next day, they knew the agenda. The state staff recommended to dissolve because they're so far gone. Why waste Barry Anderson their time, an hour and a half meeting, telling how they're in compliance and they're working in the right direction, to turn around and tell us the very next day that the recommendation is dissolved.
What do they mean by you're so far gone? These are
That they,
children you're talking about.
the board itself. And what
But they
need to
won't
do.
get the services, and so
So they, well, basically they wanted the area to dissolve into, and have surrounding areas pick up those contracts. And it's like, that don't sit well with me because
Who is it?
who's
Push,
pushing
you wonder who the surrounding area contract people are, who's getting that contract. That's what,
nobody.
but I find it hard to believe somebody that works as hard for his community as and county as Barry would not be willing to go the extra mile, and obviously did, at least in somebody's eye,
And I'm
yeah.
not denying
And I'm
that
saying that, I'm not just counting him, I'm sure that whole crew up there.
they had some challenges and they had to turn over in a director and some things to work through, but don't tell them that they're on the right path to turn around and tell the state board that they're so far gone, we need to dissolve them. So,
It's a little mixed message.
yes. So to be continued. That's all I got, Gene.
Yeah, that's a bit of a thing.
Just like last week that we had our District 3 meeting, or, is that longer ago?
What's that?
Was it just last week we had our District 3 meeting?
Yep.
Yeah, let's just like,
Had this fly, but I thought that meeting was very informative. I think that all counties, everybody started out with their concerns or the budget. And, I kind of kept notes of each county. Lyons County, I believe, had a lot going on.
Lion,
Yeah, no,
they weren't there. They're
No,
still
no,
out there.
where's Linus from?
Linus is
Clear- Linus, Hammond.
Emmett? Don't find it. Oh, yes. Yeah,
they had a lot, or Linus had a lot.
yeah, Lion, but he had such a passion about the cancer in his community that he really had to perk up and think about all of that. He was, I thought he was teary-eyed over his concerns.
He did start to get
Yeah.
choked.
He did.
When he started talking about family and local
Yep.
friends, he did get choked up.
So they're leading in cancer, we need to do something about it. Yeah, check radon, air filters, need to check chemicals,
You know, Cal,
not a joke.
sorry, Gene, to
No
interrupt, but
worries.
up there, that would be, the glacier would have been, so they probably have a lot of radon, chance for a lot of radon.
Very pothole county, I'm sure that soil type and everything is probably, yeah.
That would be interesting to
susceptible.
check them pretty, a lot of basements up there would be.
It would be.
There's something going on in Iowa. He said it's number 2 in cancer. I didn't double check.
Yeah, we're pretty high on the list
But what he said was pretty spot on to what we heard that night.
that
Yeah.
night, you bet.
A lot of talk about solar ordinances and Bitcoin mining ordinances, and so I see we have that on our agenda, which is good.
You got any notes from up there, Gene, or not?
Did you take some paper with you or you stole that
She's
from
the best
everybody around?
secretary treasurer on the planet, I'm gonna tell you that.
I actually took my clipboard so that I could stay,
You do need me,
focused.
don't you?
You know, I am the secretary, and so,
She does a good
in
job.
an
There's a
effort
lot
to
of
not
great
have to
stuff.
be president, I'll stay the
I
secretary.
mean, we do have a solar thing on.
Yep, we
Do we
do.
need to,
Yep, Cherokee
Bitcoin.
County.
do we need to start moving on that too?
Well,
Batteries.
I think we probably should.
When Monona County has a Bitcoin mine in their county already.
Yep, yep.
Brought to you by their local Western Iowa Power Cooperative.
Yeah, well, and there was concern over, you know, the solar companies buying this $18,000 ground and putting the solar panels on, and then the tax that would be receiving, and what, you know, who's paying for all of this. A lot of concerns about that. I kind of read through these, just,
Right, because they mentioned that they had a CSR, they could use a 42, was it?
47.
47?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I have mixed feelings about that.
I mean, you brought a good point up on the way back home about that, yeah.
I said, you're kind of kicking the can down the road, and that maybe a beginning farmer, that's all they can get into, buy
Right.
or rent,
Yeah.
or even a guy with cow calf that wanted to use that lower CSR for pasture. Now they're competing
Against that.
against that.
Who obviously has
Versus-
a lot more money than a new farmer or a cow calf operator, what they can afford to pay per acre.
But I do think it's interesting to hear all of these different counties, you know, that,
If we just would set the rate on what's the highest farm ground tax rate that we have, and then tax those people more than whatever that amount is, they could take any land they wanted to.
but if it's anything like wind turbines, you're gonna be restricted to the tax you're gonna get.
I think setbacks, and if we could move something on the, especially if we could keep it a local ordinance on the severance or excise, I can't remember what Texas calls it. That's my only reason I'm confused here, because there some states call it.
Same difference.
Same difference, I think, so Kyle, you're right. But if that's something that we could control at our level instead of being dictated to again, that would probably help. You know, if you have to pay a higher excise tax, severance tax on that higher rated ground, then they'll probably look for the lower rated ground, but even at that, you could keep it at a decent enough tax on that we wouldn't be the primary county of concern.
Could the county ever,
You
maybe
know what I
we go
mean?
out and add that for themselves?
They'll look
Come in-
other ways for.
Come into our county, we're
Ordinance there.
gonna apply it,
Yeah.
severance tax.
I don't know. To Bitcoin, solar, or wind?
Right.
I don't think anybody has. Yeah.
Why not we try it, huh?
Here's my thing.
We'll try it.
I mean, you wanna come into our county, pull out our natural resources.
Why don't we try?
But we have to be ahead of it, is what everybody. 'cause
Yeah, we gotta get Rob.
One of the
Yeah.
counties we're talking about, they must do their citizens input first, and they
Right,
had
I mentioned
an agenda to discuss it, and
Right.
people were there and had brought it up, so that ordinance would have been happening, so I kind of.
I don't know if you guys were tracking me at the meeting, but that was why I brought up the nuclear stuff too. It'll require less ground, it'll produce way more power, and in a sense, cleaner. I read, remember when the big storms went through Texas and there, we had the flood, but there was also a lot of hail with that, and it tore up a bunch of that solar fields and that, whatever was in them. Right up where some of the chemicals inside the solar panels got into the ground and stuff. I mean, there's all kinds, they're not free from danger, you know, which nothing is. You know, I mean, when we're generating power, there's always going to be an element of risk to some degree, you know. Whether it's wind blades flying off, a fire, is a bearing went out, or whatever, you know.
I mean, how much does it cost to build a nuclear reactor or nuclear power plant?
Oh, let's ask.
What's that?
I thought it was interesting.
Oh,
that
What
the
does it
state-
cost to build a mini nuclear reactor?
can't wait.
Any nuclear reactor is a massive utility scale endeavor, costs vary significantly.
The state's
Well, I could answer that one.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, cost estimate ranges from 10 million to 50 million per unit, which that really isn't that damn expensive.
10 million, that's like 3 bridges.
Chump change.
How much was
We'll
our
build our
tower?
own, huh?
How much was our tower?
Our tower project, about 3 tower projects, put it in scale. Yeah, 3 tower projects.
You know, in a $50 million one, it'd probably be a little bigger, a little more
ROI,
elaborate. But I think that that's actually where the country, period, should be going. You know, it'll use up less of our ground. You can build it somewhere. I mean, you could build it on the top of a damn hill that's too sandy to farm. You know what I mean? And it would produce just as much electricity there as it would on the flat. Pretty good, you know.
Here we come back though. What are the water needs to keep the reactor cool?
There you go.
You know, actually, I was
There's
talking to
very
somebody
limited.
about that. A lot of that is recycled water because it just basically recools, runs through a radiator of type. You know, I mean, they may have to change it out.
Some are off
Yeah.
by steam,
Yeah.
but they probably capture the steam at a level too and just.
Yeah.
condense
You know, when you
it
go
back
by
in.
the big ones, you'll see the steam coming out of the towers.
I never understood
And
why
that's-
they don't capture that and condense it.
Kind of makes me wonder if there's a pressure backfill. So I would too if I was, you know, I mean, I think that would be something you would do. But I think the mini nukes would probably generate a lot less heat than what we see the big ones do. But in any event, I think that I mean, water is a concern, but I don't think it would be as big a concern for something like, I don't know, I mean, how much water does
The one in Washington is right along.
how much water does a mini nuke?
I read once that a decommissioned nuclear sub could power like half the state of Nebraska. I mean, that's not much.
But the state, you know, when their representatives talked, property tax was a resounding issue with all of them. Senator, property tax, working on it.
They have dry cooling designs, it's probably your $50 million reactor, but you remember you brought up like the hydrogen or the
CO2.
CO2. And what if if IBP was gonna use that to cool meat? Could you use that on a reactor? You know, so then you build it out by Anderson's, and you're set, you know. I don't know, just different things to think about there, and that's why I'm not sold on building I drove by one the other night on my way down to Dallas, Fort Worth area. I drove by one of them huge fields down there in Texas. Solar fields, it was huge. And I thought, oh God. Now, the nice part, I didn't see a lot of reflection and it was daytime. You know, it was dark solar panels and there wasn't, at least at the angle I was driving, I didn't see a lot of glare. You know, so that was kind of a nice, because that's the other thing I worry about. What kind of glare do you get off of that, you know? But I just thought, God, that's something that was all on good flat ground there. Now that'd be a waste of good ground tonight, you know, let's not do that.
Well, it's Sac County, 400 acres that they just developed, right?
Yeah, that's, Sac County's pretty much the whole county is good ground. It's all good flat ground, pretty much, except for along the riverbeds.
Adams Ranch, you know, Sac County. Good ground.
Yeah.
Probably gonna build it right on top of our next big gravel deposit that we'll never be able to get to.
We'll never get the kid.
That's what my
Likely,
thought was.
I don't know, I just think that they should be doing a lot more. You know, they said that they didn't want cows rubbing on them, you couldn't put them under over a pasture. But why not do more, you know, they show it like we're in the cities, they're putting them up over parking areas. It would shade your car while it's grabbing the sun.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, I get into a lot less heated car when I get into it.
I mean, in Phoenix, Arizona, they're everywhere in that town.
Yeah.
Car park shades.
Yeah.
Why not make solar out of them?
There you go. I mean, to me, that would be an incentive. To me, putting them on buildings. I contemplated putting it on the south roof of my big shop, you know, that's not a lot of solar panels up there, you know.
Ben, could you maintain a nuclear reactor?
Cut him off.
Could I maintain a nuclear reactor? No, I doubt I could.
Bet your engineer.
I look like Homer Simpson at that.
So you need to hire additional help?
Probably.
Well, let's pause
That's funny.
our supervisor reports. We'll get to you.
Yeah.
Since Ben's here.
That's what I'm gonna start saying, we're building there by charter oak, when people ask me.
Because we're real good at
If we get that built, we'll build it, order it, we've got it, get built.
There's your papers.
I see it.
Shit. But to begin, still have of course, the project, beach bay overlay project, letting for January 21st. That's still on here. That's rapidly approaching. So, and, can't wait to see kind of what we get for that. Hopefully we get some good bids come in. So, yep, that's up and coming. So, great crew, of course, it's shut down for the season. They're still working on equipment. We've got one dozer down there being, you know, we're repairing the final drive in it. Waiting on some, we're finding used parts for that one to repair. And then of course got the other dozer up in Sioux City right now, having an extensive transmission overhaul repair done. The bearing shelled out inside of it, metal everywhere, and it turned into a costly venture.
Which one was that?
One of the D6,
One of the gas or one of the diesel one?
right.
It wasn't the electric.
No, that's still up and going.
You say you don't have a transmission. They don't. It's just a whole final drive out to the electric motor.
Yeah.
So good answer my question.
Should have acquired, because we have it all tore apart, can we turn it into one of them? I don't think that's how that works.
I don't think so. A lot different motor and stuff. I think that the diesel part is probably a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll be the first to say I'm not a mechanic by any means, so, yeah, but I do know, you know, when you have metal everywhere inside the transmission, it tore the hell out of things.
I played one on Saturday night live, so that's like.
But what we're gonna do is have it completely overhauled. It's gonna be costly up around the $90,000 range, but when done, we'll have a dozer. That's one we tend to run for quite a few years yet, and it'll have a 3-year, $5,000 warranty on it. To kind of, you know, work
How many
on
hours you put on that per year?
per year.
500, okay, so 5,000, 3 years, would certainly last 3 years, 5,000 hour warranty would last that, you think?
I think so. I'd say 500,000.
All right, just curious.
I'm probably a little bit off on it,
Okay.
but it would get us quite a few years, you know. But that's kind of the direction we went with that. We're gonna get it repaired where it's a dozen we didn't plan on getting rid of. We're gonna keep running her, so. That's Bruce Group, but they're fabricating for next year components. A lot of guys are out cutting trees too as well, but
What components do they fabricate every year for the bridge?
they fabricate well, they got the bridge cap, you know, when they drive the pile,
Right.
they kind of have a manufactured cap that they'll put on top of all them, so they'll.
They
want
make
that
those
all
in the
that
winter.
together. Yep, they'll bid all that in the winter, take all their measurements for the bridges that they're planning on next year and start building the components, the railing posts, they weld
Okay.
together all them, cut them up and get them all
right.
together.
Cool.
There's a lot of components that they can have, a lot of it prefabricated. Spreaders, diaphragms underneath for the spreaders in between the beams, things of that nature. It's okay. A lot of welding. It just save time in the construction season. You just have those kind of pre-cut components ready to go. So, it takes up quite a bit of the winter. I know last year we really didn't have much of a winter to speak of. You know,
That just makes it so much more efficient when the weather's good and you can get stuff done, that you don't have to wait for this fabricating to get done. It's already done.
Yep, when they go up to that bridge, they grab everything that they had welded up over the winter. Here's all the components for this bridge and they haul it out there and all they gotta do is work. So,
Right.
when they're on
Put
site.
their
they're
puzzle
getting done.
together.
Exactly, so. But, so yeah, that's what they're up to right now. Yeah, it covers their kind of our do-it-all crew. They're doing a lot of fixing on, welding together other components, fixing trailers, fixing, our cedar that was involved in that little bit of an accident on 59 there. They're gonna straighten that out, get that welded back together. I don't think we have too much I don't think too much damage occurred with it, but nothing that we can't do in-house, so, well, we got crews. They're just as good as welding as the next guy, so. But, so roadside crew, of course, they're shut down, for the season, but, next item on the list is, of course, the motion to approve the transfer of $1,507,000 from the rural basic fund into the secondary road fund. That's something we do every December here. We do one transfer here in December, and then the other transfer we usually do in June from the rural basic into secondary.
I actually had somebody call and ask me about what is the rural basic. They were asking what that fund was actually about, and I told them that that was mostly about secondary roads. That was what that, did I get it right? I mean,
Mostly,
yeah,
not entirely.
not entirely. I mean, I know that there could be law enforcement, different things out of the rural, but I mean, majority of rural basic is for secondary roads to work on our secondary roads.
Right, I find out the best one to explain that.
Right. The 1511 is probably about half of what statutorily we are allowed to, maximum to move from rural basic into secondary roads fund. There's also a small amount, I think, is it general? Is it, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, so
Some out of general.
a little, I think supplemental also.
And stuff would be like the same thing in general basic and general supplemental is your insurances and all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yeah, supplementals, rural supplemental and general supplemental are
Basically the same.
basically for that. They also in general, we run elections out of the general supplemental. Yeah.
I was hoping I was getting it right, not feeding them a bunch of false.
Yeah.
I tried to stay vague on purpose, because I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'm missing something. Because then I knew law enforcement, different things could be taken out of it, for a deputy or two or something. Okay.
And some of that, I'll probably sit down with you a little bit, Terry.
Sure,
Kind of
yeah.
as I'm going through the budget, kind of how that
Yep.
number comes to be.
Yep.
Might
Yep.
be a little bit there as well, but.
Absolutely.
I just gotta know kind of what we have done in the past, and but to some degree where those numbers come from. When I sit down with you a little bit. So,
Yeah.
But yes, this is resolution for that transfer of those funds.
Make a motion to approve that resolution, transfer those funds.
Second.
Motion by Kyle, second by Ty. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's a resolution.
Oh, resolution, thank you, Kyle.
Aye.
Craig,
All right.
Jean,
Aye.
Ty,
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
We're off to the races.
Motion is approved.
That's the categories on its way.
Always good to know.
Next, discussion, right now, we're finally, given the approval of hire Jason Block here for the larger position for the Denison area here today. All of our full-time positions, go back up and all the moving around. And so, let's see, when did, when Kirk moved into the position over there, a lot of switching, the truck driver position, then Kyle moved over to Westland. We've had a lot of switching around, but we filled our full-time positions now. We got two new grader operators, Jason Blum and Josh Henderson from Charter Road. He's gonna be down in the Dow City area. Jason Blum will be in the Denison area here. So, yeah, I know this is Parks and Rules, right?
Was.
A couple years. Either 2 years, we might reach out to him, but really this time of year is a tough time to really bring in a blade operator and to truly train them on what their duties are as far as blade roads and really not able to get out on there. Really, it's gonna be, their probably first line of action is gonna be to push snow. It should, the first time to get it. Right now, the roads are frozen, in the morning and they turn slop in the afternoon. They're really not getting much blading unless they got really a trouble area that they might go try to scratch it around on. But for the most part, the blade guys are out cutting trees for this time of year. So if we get some good weather, things dry up a little bit, then it might be able to get out. But we're not gonna throw them in the blade per se. One of the guys has had some blade experience from years prior, really different.
The screen looks different too a little bit.
Experience, but and then Jason, he was with us part time, of course, the truck driver. I believe he jumped in a blade from time to time, and just to try it out, just to try his hand at it. But so they kind of have a little bit of the controls and the components figured out, but they won't truly know until they get out on the road, put the blade into the gravel and start doing it. So. But I anticipate good things.
Yeah, good work, I think.
So we're making preparations for the 2026 construction season. Like I said, Rich is building our components just so to some degree we have our projects tentatively what direction we're going with bridges, what roads we're going to be grading on. I'd like to next week kind of probably have a map for you. It's kind of showing you the direction we're going, a map of our project. So where we're looking at, and I say it's tentative because right now we're also doing inspections on our culverts and over the winter in case it'll be out. Doing large diameter culvert inspections. And when it's finished with that, bridge inspections, usually in the early spring. You never know what we're gonna find out there, but like now that we're kind of into different inspection, we laying eyes on before, now we're laying eyes on it, seeing how things have changed. So, and already one was brought, to my attention that we've got another very large diameter culvert showing signs of getting worse. Very similar to what we had on I Avenue, but that just points to how good these inspections of this program that we've adopted to inspect these large diameter culverts try to address that now. And have material on hand to try and get it fixed before it turns into road collapses and we're waiting out for someone for a plank. So it's and that's kind of look like a situation we got going on. It's getting worse and worse, and now we have the foresight to be able to do something about it. So rather than have
Is it showing
more crap.
these large diameter pipes that are showing these signs? Is it due to just the age of the pipe or is it due? I mean, what's causing these pipes should have lasted for
Age, movement of the ground. I think some of these larger diameter structural plates that are put in, I think it's just the next diameter
bridges or what?
I'm sure
The floods we've had.
I'm sure it was placed in lieu of a bridge in that area or to replace a bridge. I'm not sure.
But I'm gonna have to make orders. Would we do that today or would we go with a box culvert?
On something like that, possibly looking at a box culvert. That's gonna be expensive to fix. I know we got by on this other one with a twin pipe, primarily because we were trying to keep the headwater height at a level where they didn't want it. This one, we don't have that headwater height limitation. It's a 15-foot diameter multi-plate. It is where it's existing right now. I just feel these large diameter multi-plates are just prone to really deformation.
Well, I guess that's my question. It seemed like if you put a metal pipe that size with the movement of the earth naturally, it's going to be, they just don't seem like they're rigid enough to withstand the longevity of where a box culvert will do that.
I know any bridges that we replaced that we would, I think 14 foot is the largest that we put in new. And I don't think we do that. It's just too large of a pipe. I think it's just prone to deformation over time. It's just a lot of open area to hold it together with bolts. circular pipe, so.
A couple bolts fail and then the whole the whole system is a growing failure.
So for this one, I assume we might be looking at a box culvert, and it's gonna be a costly fix. I kind of want to look at it too with my own eyes, and see if it's something that needs to be done this next year, but it's on a road that would be all around local budget. It's a costly deal, and I know we got other projects we gonna want to do too, so it's a tough one. But we certainly want to get ahead of it if we've identified the problem, so.
Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, so.
But yeah, next week, hope to kind of have a direction, and that's why I say our projects for next year are tentative, we always have something like that go on, so we hope to plan as much as we can, have everything on the ground, and then if we have to switch gears and go somewhere else, we just do. Last item I have is for January 7th is the closing date that we have set for closing on the Charter Road property, which I know we've done a lot of work over there and got her shaped up. It sounds to me like in general we're looking at possibly making that a 5-bay shop as opposed to 3-bay like we've done, and the possibility of it being central rigs as well.
I've already been contacted about people that are interested in the record shop as well, so I think
That would purchase it from the county?
yeah. So I think if you fit that on a sealed bid or an auction, whatever you thought you needed to do, I think it's probably been.
Sealed
I
bid
think
doesn't
you're
charge
just pushing that information to help you with your decision on
Oh, yeah.
your perspective, because I
It
think
makes
you got,
sense to me.
I think you almost already have a consensus of the board that that'd probably be the way to go. Almost, I ain't speaking for everybody. So.
I don't think there'd be any lack of, any less of service, or maintenance, level provided to anybody in that area, combined shop.
He'll get one or two more calls about how he drove by with the blade up, that's about it. Get him to his truck.
Has anybody received any, I guess, people that were disappointed that the potential closing of the
I have
record shop? I haven't had anybody.
I haven't really, it hasn't been out a lot yet.
Right,
but-
you're right, you're
I
right.
mean, I know there's people interested in the Charter Oak shop, and there has been for probably 2 years now.
Right.
And I don't think the record's been much different. And to be able to put them back on the tax rolls for the communities is probably a great idea, and putting our shop out on our area of responsibility is probably a great idea. We're not impeding anybody. Ability to generate revenue plus build us a nicer facility. I think.
Do you have any-
Darn road.
Do you know if there's any private businesses that are interested in the Charter Oak shop?
Yeah, I've been hearing about it.
Okay, good.
Kyle, you probably heard the same ones I heard. So, yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna speak for anybody.
Right. I was just
I wanna
curious,
speak out of turn.
because I know the one I heard was not, so that's why I was just curious. Private ones, to get it back on the tax roll.
I know the city even thought about it because they thought they should have truck parking. I said, well, nobody ever gave me truck parking. I had to go build my own.
Think you get that rest of that fence put in now, the weather's, I think the frost is pretty much gone again, so.
They were talking to the guys about see if it's something that we might be able to sneak in next week after the holidays here. And, weather has been nice. I saw some guys out yesterday when I was out and about to do a little bit of fencing, but we can probably try and sneak that in yet. I haven't brought up the guys yet, but
Yeah, I know that the farmer there runs cows in there quite a while, and we could get that done, it would make me feel a little better.
it would be
Than a hot wire. That's up, and that's fine. You run cows on a certain piece of ground for an extended period of time, the hot wire will get abused.
Yep.
They will send a sacrificial cow through there.
And deer usually are the culprit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, we had
No,
some
well, we'll,
take our fence out the other week.
Yeah, I think if there's an opportunity to do that, probably good.
I.
I'm gonna do one.
Again, the charter oak track, if we're looking at a 5-day shop, I know that's, you know, for estimating the cost for budgetary reasons, you know, that it gets to be a more of an expensive shop, and to which budget year, you almost gotta budget it for 2 years, not really knowing, you know, construction, you know, where they'll be at, it will be halfway through it, you know, but, so got that to work out, yeah, but hopefully it's over in 2027, 2028.
I think the extra cost of the shop, not talking about time, but the extra cost of the shop, it probably will get ate up by the lack of having to pay an extremely, or not extreme, but a more expensive heating bill and bills up there at that Ricketts shop. I think that would probably offset the cost
I
pretty
think
bad.
long term.
This is, like I said, this is one of those deals, instead of stepping over the dollar, pick up the dime, you're gonna pick up the dollar on this.
I agree. I think we'll be happy that we did that in the long run. I mean, at first I was a little worried about drive times, you know, and how much that would eat up at this time to work in the roads. But as fast as that motor graders can move up the road when their blade's up, he can get there quick.
So that, we had a good safety meeting last week, at the Christmas party. Thank you, Crawford. I wasn't very helping out, but see you out there. And, hopefully the guys took away a little bit of a safety on the lockout, tag out, and just general safety, and had a good Christmas party, so.
How's the tree shear working?
Great. When I watched them cut a little bit yesterday. God dang, that's impressive. They did a kind of segment of a tree line along the road, and just, well, we take them all day, during a couple hours, you know.
Trucks can't keep up.
Not really. Yeah, the trucks are just running nonstop, you know, on and off long. It's gonna get a lot of good work done. And,
Good purchase. That's what we like to
I
hear.
agree, but it's safer.
much safer than everybody standing back watching it set it on the ground, you know, got a guy with a blade right there, and just anytime you can get guys away from a falling tree, it's an impressive piece of equipment. I like it. It's gonna get a lot of good work done. So.
All right, Ben, well, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Thanks
Merry
for coming
Christmas
up.
to you guys. Thank you.
Merry Christmas. That's kind of like getting the brush cutter for conservation and this for secondary road are two good purposes in the last couple of years.
All right, Paul, if you want to come down, grab a chair.
I mean, if you don't.
Come on up.
Drag you down there, but.
Watch your knees.
Take one pass
I haven't put a bumper up there yet, so be careful.
Who's paying
Yeah,
for
that's
it?
what he did the first time he sat there.
There you go. Learn my lesson.
You did? Oh, good. Ha ha. They're pretty good.
Is this considered bribery or?
No, less than $2.99.
Yeah.
This is just the good neighbor agreement.
That's
That's right.
Awesome.
I told him he was a keeper, so.
Nice. I think that's the first time I've been honest.
Thanks for the Christmas card.
Everybody's smiling, it's so nice. Thank you.
Already had one. I'm good.
Did you see anybody open a knife, open
Thanks,
another, or nothing in that picture?
Thank you.
Progress.
All right. Well, thanks for coming up this morning.
You're welcome.
So, I know, Kyle, we're gonna start with talking about the residential.
Yeah, I think we just wanted to kind of get the residential reevaluated or the updated to where we're, you know, we discussed it, the $100,000 kind of probably antiquated. It don't take much more than a two-car garage to hit $100,000 anymore, so. I think I got it in an inflation calculator, maybe 150,000, probably more,
50.
More in line.
more in line. But I think the 3 years thing is probably still all right, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a fair, typical abatements. I know there are longer abatements in the county, but honestly, the spur development, I believe that 3 year 100% would be good.
Residential.
Yes.
I would like to have some input sometime in the future on what you've seen. You know, like Boone was a good growing community. What you've seen for industrial or heavy commercial development for abatements? What are some different options out there that we're gonna implement? Because obviously that's something we need to be focused on.
Well, it was my experience in Boone, there's a lot of work in construction, the Ohio Department of Economic Development. And I think about AgriLiant coming into the community. They came in and the board allowed them to have a 4-year, 100% abatement and a 4-year graduated 80-60, 40-20 project.
That was just something special they did for them.
Correct.
It wasn't a policy that
No,
they had.
no, and actually, there's a period of time in Boone County where, well, certainly, they don't allow residential abatements in the county.
On the county ground.
Correct. Anything outside the corporate limits, there's no abatements on for residential property. They created an area which was done before I got there, Highway 30 corridor between basically. Honestly, that's where AgriLiant ended up landing, was right there on Highway 30. But from Ogden to Ames, there was a corridor, and they had created a zone where anything in that area that had pre-established plans, if you're outside that area, you have to come to the board and make a request, and the board would work with the individuals or the developer for that particular property and arrive at an agreeable abatement program. One that I think about was a farm cooperative development that happened down by north of Perry, but in Boone County. And I believe that with a 10-year abatement program in that one, which was just standard 80, 70, 60, 50, 2 years, 40, 2 years, 30, 2 years, 20. So, but again, outside that corridor, the developers would come to the board and make their request, working, I believe, in some form of fashion of the economic development director as well.
This is something that's crossed my mind when I was listening to some proposals from some businesses. If a business was gonna, like, just say we had somebody come in here and we're in a personnel challenged community, but they said they'd come in and help develop a housing district zone for a district, business. I mean, a lot of the big businesses have got capital out the wazoo, so I mean, they can afford to do a little more. Is there ever anything you've ever heard of that, you know, if somebody was going to come in here and build an industry that had 1,000 head of people, and they would help develop one of our smaller communities to cover, say, 500 of these people and build a housing area? But, you ever hear of any incentives that work with that?
I know that, I should say I know, I heard that there's a fork we could use next time you guys want to eat something. Sorry about that.
Squirrel.
Anyway, I do know that in Boone County, Ogden worked with Fairway because Ogden needed a grocery store. And I believe there was some kind of agreement now. There wasn't anything dealing with abatements, but there was an agreement between the business and the community to, if they build a store, the community would guarantee that they would build, let's say, 50 homes in a certain period. I mean, not immediately, but in a period of time to allow for absorption. Because you don't build a bunch of houses that have to sit there. You know, it's going to be dragging the county, dragging the community as well. You want to make sure you phase those in. You know, as the market demands.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing that I've heard of as far as community and business, you know, consortium, you know, and working together is concerned. I've not heard of anything where
The business would help with the building.
no, and I don't. And again, as far as help, I don't think Fairway did any, you know, helping. They just Fairway wanted to have guarantees that there would be rooftops to support their business.
Yeah, there was just some, that was just, I mean, if you ever, when you're sitting at one of your assessor meetings, you think somebody might have an idea, you know, whether they're a Dallas or over there, then there's, you know, Scott, them that are growers, you know, if there's anything they've ever heard, because obviously, anybody that would come in that wants to put 250 to 1,000 people into our community, you know, we don't want to stress the ones that are already here, but if they're willing to help, it gives us a bigger incentive to pull them in and try to figure out ways to do that. Otherwise, I don't want to make a big abatement for somebody that's going to just steal people from Monogram and Anderson's and Smithfield, you know, I mean, that's kind of counterproductive. One of them may close, so what did you gain? Nothing, you know? So, I mean, you want to be able to gain in this process. And I mean, usually if somebody knows you got a good industry coming, you can get developers to show up. The potential's there for them to move houses. They'll show up. But if there's somebody that'll help put the infrastructure in, help build the roads and the water supply, and get the electric there. Them types of things. I don't know, I've been spitballing with 1,000 ideas trying to figure out ways to make us more attractive. We don't have the nice abundant flat spots that aren't in a floodplain. So you gotta think outside the box.
Right.
I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm thinking well, but I'm thinking.
Paul did bring up this morning, is, he said the fees hasn't changed since 2007,
2003,
3.
for building permits in the county.
Probably something we need to.
Would that be the conference board addresses that, or do we do that?
But no, that'd be the zoning board. would take care of that.
Board?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. And those, I looked just real quickly at what the city is charging, and they're not comparable at all.
No, really.
No. And if you want, I don't know what the goal is as far as the fee structure is concerned. You don't want sort of to hinder a construction.
Yeah.
All right, but you do need to have monies there being brought in to pay for costs that are associated with the administrator, with the running the office.
Currently, our fee structure is not covering those costs.
I have no idea,
Oh, okay.
but I would say the maximum fee for a new house, I want to say like $50. You know, and
I think it's $25
Yeah,
if you want to come in and file.
yeah,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
Not very much.
yeah.
I
So
would agree, they probably should be, they're pretty antiquated.
very much so, very much so. And I don't know when it was set up initially, if that was just set up as a more or less a courtesy, you know, to help offset the costs of the position. I don't want the county look at this as being a way to generate revenue, but certainly enough to support the position. So, sort of, the
Well,
cost
hasn't been touched for 23 years.
Yeah, and yeah, you want to make it support the position, but yet not deter people from coming in and doing a favor.
And unfortunately, there's a hard enough time for folks to get the correct paperwork as it is. Fee or no fee,
Right.
honestly.
It is. I think the only other thing that I would maybe would double check or put in light with all the, since 2013 or 14, when this was barn dominiums weren't really a thing back then, just maybe some language in it that's kind of spells out
Good point, Kyle.
the
Abatement of
abatements,
residential.
residential, the portion that, you know,
Yeah.
that if it's used primarily for 100% all residential, it's 100% abated, but if it's gonna be a portion of it's gonna be ag, that there's
Well,
Shop.
and to your point, from the assessment, from my standpoint, I'll look at the building and it's being used for housing, human habitation, it's gonna be classed as residential. And the abatement could be applied to that portion of the value, even though it's one contiguous, adjoining building, that part of the structure is being used for ag, ag purpose, it's gonna be valued as an ag building and receive the ag building factor and a much lower valuation. So it's easy for us to make that determination and proportion the values how they should be. And I honestly don't see that a barn dominium, in that word or that type of structure as being an issue from my perspective. So from the board, if you want to make a special notation in language with abatements, you can, but
I think maybe just some sort of notation, because I mean, out on the street, I've been accused of, well, this and that, they're not getting this abatement, you guys are showing favoritism to that person because they got the abatement on theirs and they're not getting it on theirs, and because they don't understand the whole process of.
therein lies the problem. There is a lot of misunderstanding.
Right.
And if folks just ask the question, if you guys have any questions at all yourselves about assessments and how they work, please be sure to come and talk to me. And I can help better educate you as far as how the assessments work and how things are done.
Yeah.
And help you and in turn, because it's like going to the coffee shop and the old telephone story. You know, I tell you something, you tell something, and by the time it's back to me, it's 5 different ways to what I said in the first place. So if I can inform, educate individuals, whether it be the board or people who come in, they can go back and have conversations with their, counterparts. Sorry about that. And better understand and not get misaligned with what the truth really is.
And I think we're probably on the right track, because most of these have happened in the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say year, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually working with Terry on
No
finding.
disrespect to anybody, it's just
Oh, no, I
all
know.
the changeover that.
Yeah, I was actually working with Terry on finding because the legislature and House File 718. One of the nuances. Oh, right. One of the nuances of 718 is that each abated residential parcel now has to have a new tax system created for the school-only portion that's going to be taxed.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I was working with Terry on that and looking at the individual abatements that we had received in Crawford County, and I believe I came across you guys had mentioned something about ones you have to rescind.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across a couple of those. I've not had a chance to go back and look at those again, but I'll do that before.
Yeah, I think there might be 2 of them, I think.
But I was going to review those for sure. And you're questioning those, and just want to make sure that you were all right.
Yeah.
In the decision that you made as far as the abatement is concerned, or if necessary, bring it back to the board and say, hey, unfortunately, we have to rescind it because.
Right, or reclass them so they are valued properly.
Well, that'd be the assessors.
I know, no, I get
reclass.
that, yeah.
So we'll be looking at that.
Okay. I think according to what our evaluation, what we really had till February to make them official. I mean, we took action on them, but it says that we were supposed to bring them to you by a certain date. So we have time. I mean, they haven't really even hit the tax roll.
The deadline of, well, we're talking, what
We're still
I'm
talking
about is
25.
What you're thinking about is actually the new ones for 26.
Yeah,
The owner has until February the 1st to file an abatement. Okay. And from that, then the assessor has to apply the abatement to the parcels. So there's plenty of time for an owner to come in and file for an abatement yet for the 26 assessment. 25, that ship sailed. They left the port, it's off the sea.
Yeah.
It's now at airport.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, and I think we've got the school-only stuff cleaned up and we both took a look at it.
Was that language we wanted in there too, though, that we can't debate school portion?
I added that to the applications that folks are currently getting now. So that way they're well aware if they read it.
If they read it.
There'll be questions.
Make it big and yellow or something. I don't know.
The word is, and how it's always been, it's an abatement. And so I'll pay no tax. And that's going to be the thought process of owners
Right.
who receive this in the first place. And when they get their tax bill and they see that they are paying taxes on their improvements, they're going to say, what is going on? And it's by no request of ours locally. That's a state law that's caused that portion of the taxes to be applied to the residential values.
How long's that law been out there? Do you have an idea?
This is the first 25.
Just happened.
The school-only stuff is new.
Just brand new, okay.
House File 718.
That's been like
The
3
gift
or
that
4
keeps giving.
years, yeah.
And then,
Give me.
we don't know, Paul, they're talking about they could totally change that again.
They could.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, honestly,
A lot of joy out of that, I'm afraid.
I don't understand. So with residential, they did the school only portion. With commercial, any commercial abatements that you guys receive, so back to your idea as far as commercial industrial development, there has to be a minimum assessment agreement filed by the owner and then recorded in the recorder's office with the governing body that go in conjunction with that abatement. And again, it's part of House File 718.
The gift that keeps saying.
Yes. And I don't know.
Is that part new? The commercial,
No, I mean,
meaning
it was-
minimum,
It's the same, it's
it's
new,
been since the writing of. House
yeah,
File
new
718.
for this, yes, but there have been, in other instances, there have been minimum assessment agreements that have been written and agreed to by developers, because to your point, as far as getting development to come, the developers don't want to foot the whole bill, and they'll use like they'll create a TIF, an area, and they'll receive. So they come in and they spend $50 million on the building, and we assessed it at $25 million, and it was just bare ground and had minimal taxes that were being paid. That increase in taxes in a TIF area would go to pay those bonds that help to develop the land on which that building is now sitting. So that's a vehicle that they use.
But now a school can't be TIFed.
That the school portion, correct.
So basically another unfunded mandate for county. Just keep sliding more of them in all the damn time.
Yeah. So. What I got?
One quick thing that we kind of talked about briefly, and maybe this is more conversation down the road, but we did talk a little bit about GIS and zoning.
Yes.
Something to look at if we're getting to a point where we look at starting a GIS department or putting it under a department, or if there's a need for that. Like you said, it is kind of a growing.
No, certainly it's growing. And actually that, a lot of that work, I think, you have to help me out here. A lot of that work was done in the assessor's office before, I should say when Cindy was here.
Yes.
She was like the GIS person for the county, basically. And when she retired, that knowledge went with her, unfortunately, yes. And that's an integral part of, Mary works that on a daily basis. We in our office work that on a daily basis, and that need is not, I would say, is not being completely fulfilled at this point in time. I mean, again, I'm still getting my feet underneath me, but that's what I've seen in the first couple months I've been here.
And there's different ways to do it, like Paul brought up, sometimes it's under assessor's office, sometimes it's own department, sometimes it's under the auditor, or, we kind of talked a little about, maybe that's a position you could couple with zoning. But something that we need to kind of start snowballing and thinking about how to handle.
Will that beacon presentation, will that help or solve or not matter?
Well, I mean, I didn't see any of that or sit in with him on the presentation, but I do know.
Watch it on video.
I could. I did not.
Thought I'd throw that in.
I could.
If you want to.
I do know though, and talking with other assessors, Schneider Corp does a lot of work for Shelby County, and I know personally several of the employees who work for Schneider, and I do know that they handle quite a bit of GIS work. I do know also that when I was in Boone County, that they actually helped us find multiple coordinators. The first one didn't last very long. Coming in, they helped recruit him, and then he ended up leaving for another position out of state. But then they came back around and helped us find and located another coordinator. So that's an option they or a service they provide as well. But as far as the ins and outs, my dealings with Schneider Corp and Beacon are primarily from what's the public facing side, I should say, and what they offer on that.
But they can't fill the gap of what a full-time or person in county could do for GIS that we need.
That's
They're a tool
going to
that
be that'd have to be a question that Ryan would have to answer for you. I don't know that. They could. Unfortunately, I don't know. I can't answer that. I know that they provide service like similar to that in Shelby County. You might reach out to the Shelby County folks and see. They have, I forget the term that they use now.
That isn't under the assessor.
Well, the assessor might help fund it to a certain extent, but I don't think it's wholly under the assessor's budget. I do know that they come in. I apologize, I don't recall. There's a term that's used, but they do come in and assist them. And it's a lot, primarily I want to say it's remote, but they do have on-site work as well that they do with them. So, that bugs me now. There's a term for that. those deals where if you don't use it on a regular basis,
Yeah.
it's like, it's there, and I'll think about
It'll come to you.
It'll
don't
come
worry.
to you.
We need to start putting this for next year on our whiteboard.
Just as well.
Yeah, we need to get our whiteboard out.
It's on the wrong side of the room.
I don't know
Kyle's
why
the
it's
right
not
word.
over there.
Yeah, I'm out of that. They took that away from me. They don't like my drawing.
Might look into it, see how many counties have a separate GIS department. It would be on that salary survey on ISAC.
And over in Boone, I'll tell you that from a funding standpoint, the assessor assisted in the funding of the GIS coordinator in Boone County.
Yeah.
The conference board, I should say.
No, yeah. Well, you could if you wanted to.
We still read.
Well, it
Yeah.
looks like Kyle wrote it. It's kind of a
We
little
can
bit
read.
legible and it's kind of going
Uphill.
uphill.
That gives a
Kinda
character.
high.
Right. I wanted to leave room to keep coming down the list.
Need a little step left.
Hilarious.
Okay,
Whiteboard's
Well-
just begun.
anybody, any other questions, Paul?
A lot of good information. Really, thank you.
One thing, I apologize for not bringing it to the board's attention, when we had our conference meeting the other night, but I did receive a note, and I believe that, staff did as well, I think, from Bob Kroll. He is stepping off, retiring from the
Oh, geez.
board of review and
Oh.
the board of adjustment.
Oh,
Oh, that's gonna
So the board review is gonna be under the conference board, so the conference board will need to, appoint another member to take his place.
Okay.
And the board of adjustment, I think that's a board that you folks, take care of.
so is that on that list that you have? Or was that that's damages and
No, this
stuff?
is damages, yeah. So this is.
Tell
our
me again. Review,
Board review,
adjustment.
board of adjustment.
Adjustment is your board.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
Good to know. Phil.
All right.
And anytime you guys, please feel free to stop by if you have questions, about anything.
Be careful what you wish for.
I didn't wish for that, I asked for that.
Notice who spoke it, right? Okay, I'm just saying.
When did you want to set a date for the conference? Just, I'll stop in after the first year. Is that soon enough?
That's fine.
Set a date for.
Budget.
If you get to get, like insurance numbers and things
You
like
should have
that.
got them.
Oh, yeah,
Yep. Did Michelle send them to you?
okay. I didn't know those were updated. I thought that we were waiting on.
Well, you have, I mean, you need numbers to
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
They are not updated, but
Oh,
they're
Okay.
consistent with what we're currently doing.
Okay.
So at least you have
And
something
nobody
to
knows
budget
what
with.
the percentages are gonna be affected by, well, Washington tries to figure out what the hell they're doing.
God help
Insurance
us
could,
all.
We
yeah,
need to have those, yeah.
insurance could be.
They will eventually. They don't have numbers yet.
Wait.
No, they won't even
Yeah,
give
yeah,
it to us.
Yeah.
They
They
can't.
don't, we've already communicated with them and, yeah, they don't have anything yet. I know. I thought that was part of the plan. Numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming out.
For
One pancake, one smoky.
I'll take the snort.
Now you gotta eat the pancake too, that goes with
I
it.
know, I never thought of it. I never thought of.
You could wrap it in it.
Yeah, you should have wrapped it in it. Now you missed
I've had
it.
all the starts I could do.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Diabetic.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Oh, I guess I could live it for calling, couldn't I?
There you go.
Good.
He's here for the town meeting or should
I don't know.
Oh,
Close session.
He's pancake, he's thin.
he be here for
Yeah.
the solar panel moratorium?
Verizon lease agreement?
The, anybody want to adjust their
Here's that.
Oh, their boards.
boards?
Time to shuffle. We need to shuffle.
What's that? I'm happy.
I think we're good.
Okay. So the Verizon contact.
staff augmentation.
Oh,
They have to write the lyric. That's what the term, staff augmentation is
we
called.
told you you'd get it.
Okay,
Got
thank
it.
you.
Have not heard of that.
No.
For Shelby County, when you call it.
What's that?
For Shelby County. Get in touch with it.
Cool.
Staff augmentation. All right.
Comes back.
Okay.
Verizon came back and they approved the counteroffer. We're $1,400 per month. That'll commence on September 1st, 2029.
Seemed like that was easy.
It's,
We should have.
Yes, that's exactly right.
it was,
I just want to say Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
there was no pushback at all, so.
Huh.
yeah,
That's crazy.
So,
That was pretty hot.
Alright. So commencing September 1st, 2029, the monthly rent for the initial extension term shall be $1,400 to be paid on the first day of the month in advance to the lessor or such other person as the lessor may designate in writing at least 30 days in advance. Thereafter, beginning on September 1st, 2034, the monthly rent for each additional extension term shall increase by 10% upon commencement of additional extension terms. So we're locked in for the 4 additional terms of extension, additional extension terms. So on that September 1st, 29, the agreement shall be extended for 5 years. The term of the agreement shall then thereafter automatically extend for 4 additional terms of 5 years each.
So it's set for a while.
It's set for a while.
None of us will be renewing that lease.
Good, I hope not.
Only Zach.
Yeah.
Remember this day.
So if anybody wants to read the full agreement, that's the
Good to get her done.
You highlighted it pretty good.
So otherwise, I just need a.
Need a motion.
I make a motion to accept the Verizon
Motion by Ty,
for the new tower
I'll second.
lease agreement.
second by Jean. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye, Bert.
So I just need a signature by Dave, Terry.
Colin, all right, this is good.
So Dave, you'll be at the top.
Good job in negotiating.
Kyle, on the knowledge by occupation, you think James would be interested? Jefferson?
Oh, insurance.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I don't have any idea.
I don't know either.
You know, fire.
But James is a young insurance guy, just was thinking.
I got another one, John. One.
Are you a supervisor in my name?
Probably
You got
like
Ken
chairman.
Chairman.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
If you
you
scan it in and email it to us, we'll keep a copy up here too.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming you want to keep a
get
copy in
involved
your
in things
records
here, the
too.
community, like
I'll,
at the Roberts house.
Yeah, I'll just bring you guys the original.
Oh, okay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're both Hoffman people,
Right.
so replacing Clarence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to check with them.
I certainly will. And speak out, we do insurance.
Yeah, I was say we could just snag Kent because he probably owes us or throwing a lot of money.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just threw in some ideas, because I know I won't get any help on the regular basis. Never talked to them.
It seems like we have just about every one of them except for Jim Brown's daughter.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we don't have any smaller communities like we used to have.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, no worries. I kind of like going back and
One of us, 7 graduates, has in 6th grade.
Oh, my God.
Your signature.
6, 7.
I went to Kyron in the 5th grade.
All right, Colin.
School though.
I went to country school.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Colin.
Good, sir.
Thanks for hammering that out.
Yeah, no worries. I sent a rough draft to Dave and Kyle, and I made just a few changes since then. Nothing major. This is a proposed moratorium on, sorry.
Which way they going?
No. Sorry.
On solar projects within the county. It makes clear that it's not permanent. It's a 6-month temporary halt or moratorium on solar projects, what we call utility scale. I called Kyle because I was unsure whether the moratorium wanted to include all solar projects within the county, like even personal use solar, or just the utility scale ones. And
We're
Colin,
not gonna stop anybody if they want to put them on their house.
yeah, Yeah, and that there's a,
Personal
that's
property.
specifically covered in this, is
These are
personal
large
use.
scale utility.
Yeah, meant to sell power back to the grid.
Yeah.
It, on a large scale.
Commercially.
Yeah, commercial, thank you. So,
One question, and I know we kind of talked about it. Is Whitco,
They've already got their built.
but do they have any expansion plans that they're,
I'm sure we'll find out.
I mean, I hate to hold Whitco or
We can,
locally
if
owned.
they come up through, we can address that.
It said it shall
Can
not
we-
apply to any.
I reached
we
out
can
to
adjust-
Paul ahead of time, when I was drafting this, and asked if there was any current applications in front of the zoning board for anything solar related, and he said no.
Okay,
Said that
and like, you're right, we can always, if they did come in and say, hey, we need an
Right.
exception or something.
Sure.
it doesn't apply to any solar energy.
I just hate if they have something planned for the spring.
No, I get it.
And there's also a grandfather clause in here, so if there's one already approved, it would be able to go forward as approved already.
Because they approved projects.
So can moratoriums last for as long as you want, or as long as you put in the,
I've seen them last for a year, but yeah, I suppose you could just keep rolling it. If 6 months goes by and you guys want another 6 months, you just renew the moratorium.
I remember, I think the wind one we did with Silver Queen was working out, but
Martha helped a lot with that
yeah,
ordinance on that. So should be available for something else on this, or you can do it yourself, or
For just,
to create an ordinance.
yeah, we'll work on it, our office will get that. And this would be a moratorium on, unincorporated. This is not, we can't
We can't,
do anything for it.
hoping they'll put them up over the parking.
So, yeah, 6 months, it can be renewed or stopped early at the board's pleasure. Purpose and intent is to allow the county time to consider policies and regulations for utility scale solar, not meant to be permanent, not meant to prohibit personal use by county residents. And of course, there's the ever-present severability clause, so if anything is, I mean, it's a resolution, so it's pretty fluid if you guys want to come in and change something like that. I got the resolution number from Terry's office, so we should be good to go.
And ultimately, this is like after our district meeting, something to protect the county so that we don't have some out of state company put a thing on our desk. It proves right, no ordinance, not behind it.
How far do you think we get if we tried to put a severance or an excise tax at the county level? Energy creation.
I would have to look into that.
You ever heard of a county?
We don't want to create a lot of extra work for you.
Well,
but
I mean,
this
if
would
it's
be-
something you're considering, I would have to look into it. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
somebody's gotta be the first.
Yeah.
I know, test the
see.
water.
Just looking.
Department of Revenue might have something to say about it, but
Well, that's why we.
I mean,
wanna
yeah, I
expedite
know,
it when it
yeah,
goes, you know.
exactly. Because I don't know if those will be centrally assessed or locally assessed.
No, look what Noah did.
Right,
Build
Build
that
the
little
ark
boat
and
all
away
by
you go.
itself.
Well, they had a little help, it was divine.
Right, divine intervention, but
Make sure it stayed afloat.
I hope we're all getting a little of that anyway, but.
Oh, boy.
We all need it.
So,
Sure is.
well, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-40.
so
We have a motion and a second by Kyle and Jean. Any further discussion? And thank you.
thanks for doing it so fast.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
Amazing. All right.
Any further discussion?
It's a resolution.
Resolution, so all in favor, Kyle?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Aye.
Craig, chair votes aye.
Hey, we got our work cut out, we're gonna get something done in 6 months.
6 months.
I'm gonna use this one.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, whichever
Gotta
one.
add something.
Can always re-up it if you need more time.
Hopefully, we got a good starting point with a good cutter thing,
Yeah,
what I got for you, so. Like the only, like you said, the severance or excise
Look at
thing
you
to look
making
into.
stuff.
Which counties did you
Do we
get?
want to do the same?
Yeah, Cherokee,
data
so
centers?
far. Yeah, and that was
I know,
14 pages, so I
Bitcoin.
think it's.
Data, Bitcoin?
Sufficient.
We need to make sure we know what we're getting.
And the only other thing I'd
None
like
of us
to
understand it.
Did it have a
Two rating.
decommissioning ordinance in it too?
Uh,
Did it have decommissioning in it right away too?
I haven't read that yet.
I have it here, I don't know, I didn't read it all the way through either, but
I'm sure.
Just, we'd want that, so if it is in there, then great, if it doesn't.
yeah.
We need to add some.
I know they try and keep, that took a long time for them to get together, so.
Pretty good supervisor.
Move on to reappointment of Jean to the Board of Health for 3-year term.
So move.
Doesn't sound like she disagreed.
Second.
No rest for the weary.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's abandonment and decommissioning.
Okay, excellent.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
You want to scrap you a little later?
closed session.
Closed session.
Close section.
Closed session?
I don't have any idea what it is.
Should I put this on?
I think so. I don't know.
It's, what you and I talked about after conference board meeting.
Oh, yeah, grab me, that's right.
Very good. I
Ah,
will abstain from this.
you're kind of young for that.
Ah,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are you caught up?
Sure.
Dave, you know what?
As good
It's
as it
only
gets.
been 12 months, but you're really getting good at remembering to sign.
Well, Craig had to point one out
Now
earlier.
we gotta be keeping an eye on Craig. I'm the third baseman on this poker table, or this blackjack table, so I watch that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Chair votes aye. Jean abstains. Reappointment Dwayne Zink to Law Enforcement Board of Operations, ending 12/31/26.
He agreed.
Someone asked.
Is that the building part down there? Is that what this
Yeah,
one is?
that's the LEC joint
LEC.
thing.
Yeah.
Didn't ask him.
I didn't ask.
I
I
did.
didn't ask them.
Pass the plate.
Might be one,
I definitely did not ask him.
retire. Does he have to write a application like I did? I did. I did.
That's attached if you want to read it.
Oh,
See what her
well,
qualifications
I don't
are.
think you really need to. Need to know.
I vote for her just on her passion alone.
Yeah,
Like,
it's nice, so if we have additional ones, then we know the
Correct, I
whole
agree,
floor,
I
but
agree.
yeah.
But I would think that everybody for an appointment would have to express their interest.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Thank you. But- You better ask Megan, you said you do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Perfect.
So that your motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Reappointment, Mary Iden, Conservation Board, ending 12/31/2030.
Did you fill out an application?
I believe so. It's not attached, but I believe she did. That's how we use she.
So
Why
moved.
is mine attached?
We want to keep an eye.
Because
Got it in so
You're an
early.
old banker, we're keeping our eye on it.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
We have a motion by Craig. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yep, I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Well, and no disrespect to Mary or nothing, but we're, from now on, I think maybe being as a board that we should probably see them applications. And Mary's been on for so long,
I know.
and maybe that's why we don't need to see her application, but we should, but I don't know the right answer, wrong answer.
I mean, is there anybody else that wants it? That we
Sometimes-
nobody applied.
Yeah, from time to time, but
I think it should just be operating procedure.
I mean, you were on the board.
I was.
Yeah, so I'm not,
So was
yeah, I
Mary.
don't think it's gonna make a darn bit of difference with
Okay.
this one, but.
Yeah.
So,
I think maybe if there's two, we should.
well, definitely, I mean, we have had it in the past.
been a while.
We've had multiple applications for this position, so.
All right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
we reappoint Dr. Dennis Crabb as medical examiner ending 12/31/27.
Sure, Megan did.
Yep, I think Megan asked.
Motion by Craig, who seconded it?
Is that a year? That's 2 years?
It is 2 years.
2027. Gene seconded it. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Chair votes aye.
Did you, have we ever, I mean, I heard at one time that he might retire. Have we ever investigated to see if there's, I mean, we can't keep throwing everything at Dr. Love like Aaron does. I mean, oh my God, that poor guy will need a pay raise. I just kind of wondered if we had somebody, I mean, as long as he's doing it, great.
I don't know if there's anyone that has volunteers.
That's my question. Do we have anybody if Dr. Crab won't do it in 27?
I just lump these next three that get all together all the same. There's no one there.
No, it doesn't matter. They're separate papers, but they don't have to, the motion
I'll just
can
make
be
this
together.
I'll make the next motion to reappoint Ashley Green, Alex Garcia, Rachel Burns, medical examiners, investigators, ending 12/31/27.
No, they're all the same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Is that Manny?
What?
The little Manny rooster.
I just like to do it. We said better do it. That's how I pay attention.
Citizen input. We have nobody in the room. Anybody on Zoom? We don't have any. We sign these. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. We'll grab Colin and then we'll go into closed session.
Thanks for the break.
But we expected this one session to last that long.
Copy to remove.
The download process.
Get more.
Yeah.
Like to see.
It's worse. It is worse.
Make sure that the person is still.
There's probably other officers in the state.
So they have a pretty good lobby.
Yeah. So anyway, should be soon.
No,
Everybody else.
Right, good point. Good point. Good point.
You know, I kind of wonder if somewhere along the way, they moved on it because it was hard to get people.
I agree.
We will, probably.
But we're also looking for people that are engaged.
It'll have, it'll be for both.
Actually know what they do and how to, like, you know.
Yeah. The community, work on community service aspect.
I think this year I'll get these things typed up sooner rather than later. So it's all first. Kept it all together and then I started having panic attacks, going, oh shoot, I gotta get this done. I get it done. But I think this time is gonna be more because we have diverse things to talk about.
You got Craig? No, he's a good guy. You know him very well.
I do not.
He comes to NACO a lot.
Did I spell his name, his last name right?
God, don't ask me. It's that long.
I made it really short. HOFTIZER or ON.
Authorizer.
Yeah, you know, what I'm trying to spell, I think I was
Sioux
just.
County Board of Supervisors. Boy, they hard as a thought. Lot of one.
Oh, it should be a YZER. I sound.
Carl's is long, but it's only because he's a Van D, not a Van Der, and
Yeah.
and that bothers him if you put that R.
Bad D, yeah.
Van Der.
Yep.
They actually got a good board. They've got a good county. I mean, it's the whole community.
They're active,
They're
yeah.
really from, you know, Orange City through Sioux Center up to that, you know, Rock Valley. I mean, all their communities are really
But they're
progressive.
competitive with each other
Yeah,
also.
yeah. But then there's brilliant people that work and they're all very community minded. And you don't hear a lot of negativity.
No, you don't, you don't.
They got it going on. I actually, when we were with Grassley's office, the Washington congressman, and maybe even in Ernst's office. Anyway, I brought up Sioux County as being one of the, if we really want to see how it's, somebody that's appears to be doing it right, that would be where you'd go is watch Sioux County.
I hate it that some of the counties don't even come, you know, that's.
It's disappointing. They never get one to show up, because they are the bigger county in our,
Apparently you don't
and
clean
to have them as
rubber,
team
melted rubber off.
would be quite advantageous.
Well, the things that we.
You have melted rubber on your vents?
Yeah,
It's just things that we
making a
might
snow
not know
pusher and cutting
about.
the
Thinking
track,
long and hard
like
about the
track
cancer.
tractor.
You know, who among
That
us
shit just, it was hitting my glasses, so I
somebody that
couldn't
has.
scrape it off hardly, so I just got
Yeah,
some
yeah,
industrial
yeah.
cleaner on a paper cloth.
You know,
As soon as I was wiping it, I'm like, oh.
Have you
this thing,
ever heard that one?
You feel the wind just falling apart.
Are yours like the safety lenses?
it's-
No.
That's why I said something to Callie, I just wanted to
I
pick
figured
up on
they're
the Germans.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're not
And I,
hard
but I'm
plastic,
a German, but I don't drink.
so that's why that rubber wasn't.
You have
As much, that would be me, as much.
Anymore.
They were pretty bad.
I should drink a
As a
little.
younger man, I partook, but
Oh,
I'm just,
yeah.
Are you
got
far
where
sighted or nearsighted or?
I don't like the hang.
Both? Yeah.
That discourages.
I like it on a cold, just.
So I can
it's
read
really
further
cold,
away,
it's
so if that
okay,
means-
but otherwise white is.
Are they opposite?
Yeah, so what's that? I can read
Farsighted.
that, but I can't read it here, so. You know, farsighted.
I can't even see with my glasses on anymore. There's a problem.
I think it's a hoax. I could read better before I got glasses. I think once your eyes get used to it.
I did the eye surgery years ago. Best thing I did, cut is ear surgery. Hold your eye open and
Yeah.
stare at your laser light burning your eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my wife said.
Can you record this?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you for reminding me.
That
No
was-
problem.
He had it done when he was 18 years old, he's 48 now, so it's kind of a, he said it's missing.
Are we ready, Dave?
Yep.
I'd make a motion to go into closed session.
I will second that motion.
Motion second,
At
I got to go.
all in favor, say aye.
10:57.
Aye.
I'll be doing the minutes too, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Am I gone? Do I need to be gone?
Yeah, it'll just be us, me and the board.
Okay.
We need to-
What time? I mean,